adding this in at the very end, guys. Wayne's diagram or drawing here is referenced several times throughout this video. And he sent me the original. I don't know how it was even possible to have, I don't know, thousands or tens of thousands of little lines, and I don't know how anybody could do this by hand. And thank you for sending it to me, Wayne. The complexity of this world, it appears to be a monster. It appears to be the ultimate evil adversary. Nope, it's all here for us. Hey guys, it's Matt. I was thinking regarding part two, the work, that one of the biggest parts of part two is to make our final decisions and stop searching. Just stop searching for answers. At some point, you have to decide and make your final decisions, final choices. Now, this is a conversation for people ready to graduate. This channel will always be here for the first grade truther trying to get to third grade or fourth grade or fifth grade, and we'll make fun of Not Milk and we'll do news headlines. But for those ready to graduate, it's time to make our final choices, our final decisions. And that's not a magenta mouse, that's a red mouse. It still bothers me. Matt, if that bothers you, you're not ready. You're not ready. I'm not. If that bothers me, I'm not ready. Time to make final decisions, final choices. And the best way, I'm not getting this out right, and it's very difficult to talk about. So I'll give you some examples. For anybody that's new or lost, part one is just simply seeing through the trick. That is where 95, 98% of the truth community gets stuck. It's continuously reacting to its distraction and trying to break down its symbolism and trying to determine the shape of the splat turf and research. And it's the endless trick. And the trick of this reality is customized for each type of person. For some idiots on the street, it presents itself in the form of the red carpet or celebrity or things that we would call mindless. But yet, when we are doing our endless research, trying to look for answers, trying to break down more symbolism, we are simply doing the same thing as somebody that worships or bows down before the red carpet. It's simply reality showing us the distraction that we're most interested in, that most gets our attention. From the reality's perspective, which is the spiritual adversary, there's a thing here called Not Milk, it's a dark, devious son of a beach, and from its perspective, did I just lay out some spit there? Sorry from its perspective, it's a role player here, and its job is simply to keep you from what you're supposed to do. It's one sentence. It's really that simple. So we have to decide. Let me just stick with part one is the trick, and as long as it keeps you in part one, it has won. It's the winner here in your life, in this reality, as long as you stay in part one. And years ago, I was fooled too. We were all fooled that certainly getting to the bottom of what happened here, or, we see through the fake events and the mall events and the school events and the 7-Eleven job application. We know it wasn't a 12-foot man in a cave. We know, that is irrelevant. If you go off to the great good night, just being able to see through the events and saying, oh, that what's on the news right now, everybody in this room, is fake, that you've lost. That is simply another form of the trick that's customized for us. So in the old days, I actually said it a few times in the videos. We basically won. We've won. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. That is not good enough. Even if you just see through the trick and don't do part two, the work, it has won. Now, part two, the work, is leaving it all behind and simply coming into a realization of, okay, there's something here that's very crafty to distract me. Assuming I can move it all aside and not be distracted by it, what is it trying to distract me from? What is it trying to keep me from? That is the essence of part two, the work. There is no simple answer. It might be different for all of us. It might be. Again, I'm not sure I'm even going to get into it, but it is slightly different or radically different for all of us. But it starts with that basic question. Something here, role players. Tony called the sequential incarnations a different spiritual entity that runs governments and organizations, or someone said the societies, or whatever it may be, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, and Tavistock, and all the groups that make this engine hum. And each part of the engine itself doesn't understand even what it's doing, doesn't really understand the big picture of its role. What is it? Remember Wayne's diagram with hundreds. He's depicting hundreds of millions of different parts of complexity all around us. This gigantic machine, and the way he drew it. I'm not sure I'm going to show it to you here. We'll definitely revisit Wayne's diagram. The number of lines, it almost is like he has hundreds of thousands of different little lines and things in the drawing. I don't know anybody could do that by hand. But a gigantic machine depicting hundreds of millions of moving parts, all meant to distract, but the person in the center of the ring with the spotlight on them is all of this for me. It's put here to distract me, to get in my way, but ultimately this game being played here is for me. Somebody might say, I created it myself. Or if you're of a certain religion, your God created it for you. It's for you. To me, the notion that we are trapped and we didn't really want to be here, I'm not going to get into it. I really don't understand that at this point. The evidence is overwhelming that like Wayne's diagram, all of this for us, it's not easy. Just because it's not easy and there's trauma and pain and suffering and hardship, that means we would have never signed up for that. I would have never gone in there. Really, you know that for sure? Okay. You know my thoughts on it. I think that's, I'll just leave that, let it go. So part one is seeing through the trick. That's not good enough. Part two, what is this thing here keeping me from doing? So part of, it doesn't want you to ever come to your final conclusions. So let me get into those examples I talked about earlier. One of my favorite things to talk about is how I loathe the word initiation. And in a similar sense, at this point in my pursuit of truth, the pursuit of truth for the first grader is pursuing what it's doing. What is it up to? What are its tactics? What is it trying to do? The pursuit of truth as you move along the sliding scale is, what am I up to? It doesn't matter one bit what it's up to if it's not going to get in my way anymore. What am I here to do? So I loathe, initiation, the symbolism of all kinds. It really, I don't want to say loathe, but it just, here's what I loathe. The process of the endless analysis of symbolism. That's simply participating in part one, the trick. So this is very difficult to talk about. It's not coming out right. But for me, doing part two, the work, one of the main theme of this video is you need to make your own decisions and then start walking that path. And stop looking to videos to help break down this symbolism or looking to anybody anymore. I hope you continue to come here because we'll make fun of it. We'll do Not Milk travel tours. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll have some revelations, but all of it is, the people here are very close to graduate level. Completely, my advice to myself, and I guess I can give it to you, is to stop looking for answers. We have more than enough information to make our final decisions. So let me get to those examples. I'm sorry. I reject the analysis of symbolism from this point forward. It is, to me, it is part of the trick. Meaning, at first, maybe when we were first, third, fifth, sixth grade truthers, what is that? All that weird stuff on the dollar bill, and it's not completely pointless in the beginning to look into it. And how does it relate to the bad guy and what it's up to and what it's trying to do to me here, or how it's trying to block me, and what is Shiva in the the dance of Shiva and the position of the destroyer of worlds version of Shiva. What truly does that symbolism mean? And I mean, there are literally endless, tens of thousands of things to look into. The alchemical symbolism, air, earth, water, the roots of the swastika, going back to Buddhism or Hinduism before it was corrupted or meant to be corrupted by Not through through the Nazis in World War II, corrupted using that. So, but this could go on for the analysis of symbolism could go on for hundreds of lifetimes. And to me, this is just the first example of what we're talking about here. That is part of the trick. If you stay in the analysis phase, it's useful in the beginning. It really is. It's like the first push of a soapbox derby car down a hill. That first push is necessary. Participating over here in part one, the trick. What does this symbol mean? What are these alchemical symbols? And what is the bad guy here? How do they use them versus what should I be doing with them? And it's necessary in the beginning. And again, I've never really dived into that level of research regarding that symbolism. And at this point, I'm glad I didn't. Because it's that first push of the soapbox to get it, once it gets moving, then if you stay with it, what exactly, and I don't have a lot of examples here because it's just nothing I've never really dived into with full research. I'm more of an observer than to go research the old ancient texts and to go into the rare books room in the library and see what Voltaire was talking about in terms of this topic and reading to me, it's all philosophers. So at this point, I reject all analysis of symbolism because I have a half page. My reality and my place in this reality is a half page. In fact, like I've said, it's just a few sentences. It's here trying to block you, which means you have to go do some things for yourself. That's it. That is it. So why would I care one bit about what the true lineage or etymology, if you could apply it to a symbol, behind the alchemical symbol for Saturn? Why do I care one bit about that? How does that in any way relate to part two, the work? And we don't have a whole lot of time left. If you're 25 here, it just goes like that. You don't have a lot of time left. So I can see that something that has been held up in the truth community as being such a righteous pursuit, this endless breakdown of symbolism, and I can see that's simply part of the trick. It's actually part of part one. You're still stuck in part one. Almost everything here, or everything that comes from the screen or out there, is part of the trick, is simply part one prohibiting you from being part two. So in terms of me saying earlier, you need to make your final decisions and stick with them for the rest of your life. And, I've got some other examples, but my final decision is like yesterday, the one-eye symbolism over the tennis player, we'll make fun of it, and I'll say it can't help itself, this thing here. Now, we'll make fun of it, but I will never, ever care to try to research what a esoteric symbol means, of which there's just tens of thousands in this reality, what the Not Milk uses it for, needs it for. I don't care. And that, to me, that is dragging me back into part one. So if I come across a video and it's on the back of the dollar bill, that doesn't mean I have to, earmuffs, I can't watch that. I might be really interested. That has always been of interest to me. But and it might be a really fun video, but don't think it's necessary. These are things of this world. Nothing of this world is necessary for you to figure out. Nothing. Let me repeat that. Nothing of this world is necessary for you to figure out, for you to do part two, the work, what you're here to do as an incarnated spirit of something that's much greater than this place. Not one bit of it. And then you can see how the lure and the temptation of it is it's tactic to bring you back into the weeds, to bring you back into part one. So when I say, I always come forth and say this, all this initiation horse shit that people have, all this stuff about. I mean, yeah, it's comical to me, because to me all that is pause. Matt, why are you afraid of ISIS? Why are you afraid of the ISIS? I'm not afraid of it in any way. It's a joke. It's a joke. Nothing works on us anymore. Our armor is set. Our swords are oiled. Nothing. I still might cover my ears when the Harry Potter parcel snake tongue comes on. What is it? The Chamber of Secrets. It scares me. I bet it. We're not worried about that shit anymore. So that initiation, and it's just simply getting somebody closer to the study of symbols and weird little esoteric. Look, I'm sure they believe they have it all figured out. Like, see, anybody with an inner knowing can see that. Looking to the guy next to you for the answers about this life, looking to the organization, group, initiation, society, looking to something. Well, who came up with that? The person that came up with that. You sat on the pot this morning. They sat on the pot this morning. If Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great with his girlfriend, if he was a real man, I mean, again, once you go back that long, was it a real man or not? It all gets nebulous, and it's all part of the symbolism of this reality, in my opinion. It doesn't matter. But if Hermes thrice great with his girlfriend was a real man, well, he went in the morning. He went. Why would he have any answers? There aren't any. Looking to any. I deleted a few minutes of that, and good thing I did. I didn't even understand it when I went back to take a look. We have to reiterate the basics. Be very clear on what part one is, the trick. If you say, people will say, okay, I see through the trick. Just because you can see through a mall event on the news doesn't mean you're not continuously engaging in part one, the trick. Because someone at 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade truth comes along and says, well, Matt, I don't participate in examining what the catastrophe thespians are saying in the mall event and the school event anymore, but I am reading the complete and unabridged works of Immanuel Kant. And that's just be aware of how all-encompassing part one, the trick, is. To me, again, looking to others, that's part of the trick. You need to do your own half page, make your own final decisions, understand what this thing here is blocking you from for you. These are all personal notes, even if it's just written on a 3x5 card. How many people have written these simple things on a 3x5 card who've listening to me now or have ever existed? Next to no one who has ever existed have done these basic and simple things. Think about that. That's why nobody gets out. Nobody gets out on their own doing. Not that we're trapped here. This is a game against ourselves. We are our own judges in this game. If we are not allowed to leave, it's because a part of you says you jacked off for you wasted your time. Well, this person over here was just examining the red carpet and waiting for the Oscars, and I was examining the esoteric symbolism of this movie and investigating what the Rosicrucians are and the Freemasons and what is the Masonic tracing board, and I was trying to figure out what the moon pillar is. And well, if you're involved in that and you're in a Freemason, fine. But why is all the truth community? If you're actually a Freemason, why is the truth community so concerned with that? See, this is simple realizations of leaving part one, the trick, behind. Okay, it's a few sentences. There's something here. You going to say it again, boy? There's something here trying to block your spiritual progression. It's one sentence. It's very simple. It's only one sentence to you because you're ignorant. You don't understand. No, it's one sentence. I'm sorry. Whether you call it Satan, not milk, a Kaiser blade, or a sling blade. So trying to figure out what pillar's Joaquin? What's that Joaquin? Isn't that a jinn? Who cares? That's for them. Why is the truth community so concerned with that horse shit? It's horse shit. As far as if you're involved in it, fine. Whatever they get out of it, have fun. I'm not really big on the being initiated into anything. Sorry. I'm here to worry about yourself. Worry about myself and the little time I have left to do what I need to do for my spiritual whole. Why is the truth community so concerned with all this horse shit? Just yesterday, you showed the one eye for fun, and then I spout out. It can't help itself. I don't truly. These symbols are for it, or in a way, I did allude to in a joking fashion in yesterday's video that in a way, for the first grade truther to eventually get closer to graduation, it's for us. Only if you use it to see fake world, to say a reality couldn't present. At this point, if you go back through history, literally millions of different examples of esoteric symbolism in millions of different places. No real world could do that. And people are like, what do you mean millions? Go to the Grand Plots in Belgium, and all the cathedrals, and in the stonework, the symbols. It's in the tens of millions. I'll go in Egypt on the Gaza Plateau. It's everywhere. It's in movies. At some point, it's not Milk needs this for some reason, but it also for us is that initial push of the soapbox down the hill, where if we can get to the point where not understanding what this in the Grand Plots in Brussels, what the certain sun and moon symbols mean to whatever, why was that put there in the 16th century? Horseshit. Just that you have to get to the point where you get to the highest level, the 80,000 feet looking down. It's a fake world. No real world could pull all this off, even in terms of its presentation of symbolism. No real world could do this. There's an adversary here. What's it keeping me from? In terms of how it needs its symbolism, why whatever it is in its role, why it needs that weird, creepy horse shit on the back of the dollar bill, it's irrelevant once we see what the adversary is up to. At that point, every bit of the specifics and the analysis that we endlessly dive into in this community is completely worthless. And it's actually worse than worthless. It keeps us from part two, the worry about yourself. Worry about yourself activities. And even if you're 35, we don't have a whole lot of time left. It'll go like that. So make your final decisions. My final decision, it's hard to talk about, guys. This really is. I mean, this is one of my final decisions is I will never, ever in my life think I need to understand a symbol, whatever it presents. I might be interested. Again, I might watch that video about what is that weird thing on the back of the dollar bill and how did it come to it. That's interesting. That's like a hobby type thing. But to think you need it for what you need, that's the biggest trick maybe of the entire truth research community, is it dangles that you need to understand this stuff. How many thousands and tens of thousands of truth videos in some way dive into what the Freemasons are doing and the pillars and the for what? For what? If they're in their whatever they do in their lodges, thank you, sir. Can I have another? Thank you, sir. Can I have another? Whatever they do, that's on them. Fine. We don't need to understand it. If you really want to understand it, go knock on the door of the lodge and say, "Can I get in here?" Go in there. We don't need it. So again, it's this. You need to make your final decisions. I mean, this is. I don't mean to be blasphemous, and I appreciate the Christians being here, Matt. You're not going to apologize to Christians again, but this endless reading of the Bible. Here's a good example. And this is not the blasphemy you think it is. If you have, as a Christian, if you have God and through to get to God or to be with God, your way is through Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not my way, but I know something about it. If your way is through Jesus Christ, and it's in your heart, as many Christians would say, okay, you have it in you. What is the endless reading of the Bible for? If it was a reiteration of principles across 5 pages, I could understand. You see what I'm saying? Don't take this the wrong way. If you have Jesus in your heart and God in your heart, what's the endless reading of the Proverbs and the Thessalonians and the hundreds of thousands of phrases, and what's all that for? For what? Are you a moral man and woman? Do you know to help the little old lady across the street? Yes. It's not blasphemy. This relates to what I'm saying, just in a different way. Are you going to violate any of the 10 Commandments? Are you going to covet your neighbor's wife, or go take life? Or are you going to you're going to know you're a moral person? That'll never change. Okay, you know right from wrong. And you have, as a Christian, you have God in your heart, and your way will be through Jesus Christ. What's the endless reading of the Bible for? That doesn't make any sense to you? For what? What do you need to be reminded of? What are you trying to get? See, to me, the ultimate expression of Christianity is to put it all aside. That's like a truther researching the endless symbols. What's the Bible saying here? And what's this quote? And the wineskins is now the bottles, and all the, we'll not get into any potential Mandela effect changes. That'll really trigger some people. What's it for? This doesn't make any sense. You have to show allegiance to Jesus, and by reading it. Why? To me, I don't know. I don't want to turn this into a. I want to, I don't want to say anything else. I think I've been pretty clear on that. It's, to me, in a way, it's like the truth, or continuing the types of research we've been doing and diving back into the weeds. And for what? We all should have our half page at this point. Doesn't mean my half page is yours, but stop looking for answers. We know enough. We've researched enough. You might be a little bit wrong, but you can be wrong. See, the endless search to be right is one of the tricks of this reality. It's almost like if you're talking to your higher self, and many of here believe there's an aspect of us that's not here, and I don't really know exactly what that means, but I feel like I don't have to know. Just like the dream character in the dream may say, for a second of lucidity, say, silent lucidity. Remember that? Was that Queensryche? Queensryche. Sorry. I'm going to say, wait a second. This isn't all I am. And then somebody in the dream says, you son of a beach, this is all you are. What are you talking about? And you're walking along the Wildwood Boardwalk in the dream, and somebody's like, it's just endless raining funnel cake on your head and all that weird shit that happens in dreams. It's like, wait a second. This isn't all that I am. Not that you would say, I know that there's a man sleeping in a bed in Pennsylvania. You wouldn't know that, but you get it. The dream character may get a sense that this isn't all I am. Well, this is just one level up, in my opinion. It's just one level up. The dream character doesn't know there's a man in a bed, so it's just logical to assume that me, in this level of the dream, there's an aspect of me somewhere else, probably, or in a bed somewhere else, or a fractal, or some son of a beach called higher self, or whatever. Just maybe there's thousands of layers of the fractal. We don't need to know. This is what we concern ourselves with. What this place is for you. Make your final decisions. Stop looking for answers. I hope you stay here. We'll make fun of it. We'll laugh at it right until the last days. And there's very little at this point we will discover, or almost next to nothing, that will change our final positions. We should have our final positions at this point. A Christian may say, Matt, I'm going to stick with your channel. I'm a Christian because you and I both, at least here in this place, at this dream level, we have the same bad guy. And it's in a similar way, it's trying to block you. Although, Matt, you're delusional. You don't see your way is not through Christ, and you're going to really pay for that someday. You're sort of a beach. But it's the bad guy is kind of doing the same thing to both of us. And sometimes you have an interesting not travel tours, or you make fun of it in a funny way, and I'll stick with you. Okay, make your final decisions. If you've made your final decisions, I got to go back and just go into a church and we'll go over the Bible for an hour. For what? See what I'm saying? It's my ultimate half page. A Christian's is even less than that. It's one sentence. It's my way through salvation is through Jesus Christ, as many veins of Christianity would say. That's one sentence. Once you have that and you're a moral person and you're confident you always do the right thing, what's the rest of it for? This doesn't make any sense. Whether it be the reading of the end, the Bible is it's too okay. It's too complicated, folks. I don't want to make this into this type of video. We'll get off this topic in just a moment. In a way, it's okay. I can't say what I want to say because that's blasphemy. There's a lot of nonsense and a lot of rabbit holes and a lot of junk in there. Sorry. Make sure you stick to the important point. It's one sentence if that's your way. Anyway, junk, and I'm sorry. That's the blasphemy. If I just lost 40 or 50 people, that's a nice buffer keeping me from the 100,000, which I like. Come on, let me just do another minute on this. I know the Christians that are here. I mean, come on, man. It was in the hands of kings and queens and emperors. You know what I'm going to say. They inserted a lot of junk in there. God, don't give me God's word, and God would never let Emperor so and so or Constantine add a lot of junk to throw me off. Okay. Your truth is one sentence. My truth is just a few sentences. So make your final decisions. Never going to investigate symbolism again. Never and expand that out, or I've expanded out. I will never need to look to anyone ever again for an answer. I have my half page. I will never need to, what can this truth channel tell me? Or what can this, Matt, did you ever read the Dead Sea Scrolls? It's all nonsense. Every bit of, every parchment out there, the Nag Hammadi, and come on. The books in the Bible that never made it in, the Book of Thomas and the Gnostic text, and come on, who cares? Form your own half sentence based on observing what's going on here in this reality. People sometimes say what I say is similar to certain Gnostic beliefs. I never read none of it. I don't want to read none of it. Who cares? I'm tired of the talk about don't you have to understand the demiurge and Sophia, Matt, to get out of here? No. Who cares about that nonsense? It's just all a different form of the different distraction. Okay. So, guys, get a 3x5 card and write your half page reality, and the 3x5 card for each of us should have similar principles. And one of the major decisions, of course, relates to what some of us believe or what I might believe and what a Christian may believe. One of the main questions on your 3x5 card, do you need something's permission to win in life or to get out of here or to get where you need to go? In my opinion, no, not at all. I believe just like this is one layer up from the dream character, there's another aspect of me and another reality. This is all for a reason. Wayne's diagram, all of this, even as horrible and as cruel as it can be, it's all for us. And I don't need anybody's permission. I don't need to bow down and put through burnt offerings for any god. That's just me. I'm not trying to piss anybody off, but that's my final half page. I'm sticking to it. If you need Jesus, if you need Brahma, if you need Vishnu, if you need a Buddha whatever your religion may be. I even heard a few years ago that Rastafarianism is a religion, considered an official religion. I ain't got no idea what that is. Rastafari, all I know is some guy in Jamaica on a beach somewhere. So Rastafarianism is I'm not laughing. I don't know. To me, I was kind of, that's an official religion? Sorry. So how many people who have ever existed have ever written down their final choices in all of these different regards on a 3x5 card, or ancient man carved it into a rock as he was urinating off the side of a cliff? Next to nobody has ever done this who's ever existed. They've simply They simply figure 99.9999999 out, and that decimal point can go out 20, 30, 40, 50 places of who people have ever existed believe that they're not good enough to come up with their final answers. And there always has to be someone that knows more, a medicine man that knows more, or a shaman, or Dances with Wolves popped in, the 10 Bears, the chief knows more. Somebody else always knows more. No, that's not part two of the work. Part two of the work is, I've done enough. I don't need to look to, and this is not anti-Christian or anything. Again, once you, from a Christian perspective, if you, guys, there's many Christians here. I can't ignore it. Can't just pretend it doesn't. If you have Jesus in your heart or whatever, what do you need the priest for? What do you need the church for? What do you need the giant? In fact, don't you think as the cathedral gets bigger, and like certain, you walk into St. Peter's in the Vatican and say, who built this shit? You realize if I took all this shit off the wall and converted it into fiat currency, I could feed a lot of people with this shit. Why are you living in here, Pope? Good. It's hypocritical, but that's for another video. It's all the whole reality is set up as a tourist distraction, a tourist distraction. Anyway, well, that's for another video. How this whole world is set up to attract the tourist and present its mysteries that will never be. It's all part of the trick. All it does, not milk, all day long, 24/7, 365, from its Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island control centers, is try to lure real spiritual beings back into the trick. A lure. It doesn't matter. After every 10 or 15 or 20,000 words, I'll glitch. Doesn't mean I'm AI. This is a real man speaking to you, not an AI. Matt, it's starting to break down. Yeah, that really started to break down. It's always good to stop the recording and just sit here for a minute or so. That's really necessary, and I need to do maybe even a little more of that. So I guess this will be the final segment, guys. I'll just wrap it up. What is your half page? How many of you have done it since we've been talking about the half page? Do you have a 3x5 card? What more do you feel you need to figure out in terms of truth research? And many of you will say, I don't believe I need to figure out anything. I'm with you, Matt. But I don't know. It might be useful for some of us to write that down on just our little 3x5 card. The most important points, the most important things that we've discovered about this reality and our place in it. Mine again is, the one or two sentences. But adding to that, there's something here to block us. Don't ever go back into part one. What does part two, the work, mean to me? What am I here to do for myself? What am I here to overcome? And we don't have to get it right. We just have to try. And then at the moment of going into that, I will not go gentle into that good night. That's a trick of this reality. Well, I'm going to go very gentle into that good night. Blind men who see with blinding sight, do not go gentle into that. Why not? Why the hell not? That's a not milk trick. You do, again, rule of opposites. I feel I've done enough. And when the time is right, there's nothing more I need to do. My reality is half page. I'm completely confident I've done enough. I'm completely confident I've given my spiritual whole what it needed from this reality. Sure, I fell for the trick for a while, but overcoming the trick is one of the big wins in this entire game. It's great to have fallen for the trick initially. That's part of the whole deal. There wouldn't be anything to do if you were born out of the womb seeing through the trick. So I will go gentle into that good night. It's the rule of opposites. It's trying to tell you the not milk, saying, don't go. I need you here. You do need your crop here. Have fun with it. Create another, your Taylor Swift animatronic creature is probably coming to the end of its expected life cycle, like Voyager 1 and 2. You create your new animatronic Taylor Swift, but this one will be true cyborgic AI. No, and it'll and the football players will soon be cyborgs, and it'll be like that movie with Hugh Jackman where he pitted his robot up against another. It's breaking down. So I will go gentle into that good night. with confidence that I've done enough. Did you get all the answers? No, I don't have to. Just have confidence I've done enough. I did see through the trick. Very rarely did I fall back into the trick. Higher self or whatever aspect of me, if I'm the dream character at this level, we've done all we can do here. Don't put another aspect of us back into this type of shit show. We're not doing any more of this. And get us the fuck out of here. Firm, let's go do something else. Fuck off. If you don't get us out of here, go fuck yourself. You just told yourself to go fuck yourself? Yeah, fuck him. Get us the fuck out of here. That's my final. Put that on the 3x5 card. Done enough. Well, Matt, you never really figured out what the Masonic tracing board is all about. Who cares? Matt, these initiations over here, don't you need to know what that was? No. Sorry. No. They can have fun with that. Or the truth community is trying to continuously examine all that horse shit. Rule of opposites. It's so complicated. Wayne's diagram. I will find it for this video. Millions, and it's representing hundreds of millions of moving parts all around us. And this is the bad guy closing in. No, all of it's here for us. And it's so many millions and millions of parts, it can't be overcome. It can be overcome with a thought, a simple understanding that you're just going to step out of part one and you're never going to engage. And what if you don't get Matt, what if I lay out certain things for part two and I don't get it all done? As long as you feel you did the best you can, there is no score, there is no metric. You did the best you can. You use this reality to improve or to give your spiritual whole whatever it could. You got the best out of it. And then to me, that confidence into going into the moment. No creating of karma, that horse shit. It's like karma is something out there that exists on its own. Like the yellow power I keep always related to that stupid thing in the Green Lantern movie. The yellow power of fear is this car. It can't exist on its own. You have to put it out there. You have to give it life. Any regrets, Matt? You harmed certain people. It's all part of the learning experience. They learned and I learned. No regrets. No, not doing it anymore. I don't care to. Didn't. But Matt, I can. Whatever. Let's just say this life review, stupid ass shit, is real or whatever. I mean, I don't. We probably just manifest it on ourselves, but assuming it was, and well, here's all these incidents where you didn't learn as much as you could have. So I did enough. I could have learned a little bit more about myself here or there. I could have been a little bit better here. So just just don't care. You've done enough. All right, guys. I guess that's about the best I can express that topic. How many people who have ever existed have come to these sorts of realizations? Very few. I think that gives us a leg up. Thanks, guys.